13-3.
Bulldogs at halftime.
Who are they fighting
At
at?
halftime.
Nice.
They were Irish.
Who are they?
Who?
What is that?
What?
Basketball?
Your game?
The Sugar Bowl. The people that are gonna get beat. It's determining which team Penn State will beat next.
John,
That's what it's
give us
doing.
the pledge of allegiance.
Ah, wonderful. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Penn State.
Somebody like to make a motion to seal the non-public minutes, please?
So moved.
I'll make a motion to seal the non-public minutes indefinitely to determine the divulgence of this information likely would affect adversely the reputation of any person other than a member of this board or render a proposed action ineffective.
Second.
Okay, motion by Carol, second by Scott. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Non-public and public meetings from the 12/19/24 meeting.
I'll make a motion to accept the non-public and public meeting minutes from 12/19/24 as written.
Second.
Motion by Don, second by Carol. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Consent agenda.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda for January 2nd, 2025. Accounts payable payment manifest dated 12/24/24. Accounts payable payment manifest dated 1/3/25. Payroll payment manifest dated 1/2/25. Approval of the 2024 tax collector's warrant in the amount of $6,812,416.35. Approval of the tax collector's properties tax supplemental warrant for Newfound Meadows in the amount of $17,144.50. Approval of the quarter four water warrant in the amount of $162,540.83. Approval of the quarter four sewer warrant in the amount of $187,115. Intent to cut map number 24-059-03-T for map lot number 219-044. Abatement of sewer bill for 20 Summer Street in the amount of $31.19, and removal of disability exemption from map lot number 116-024 as it is no longer qualifies.
Second.
Motion by Scott, second by Don. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Connects on.
So they actually asked to come provide the board an update there, New Hampshire broadband for the New Hampshire Electric Cooperative. If you want to come over, I can get.
Come on up and have a seat.
There.
If you want to.
And if you could say your names for the record, that would be great.
We're going to put us both up there.
It's whoever.
Draw straws.
You can share a
Here,
seat.
just
if you
in
want.
case.
No, it's your cheap.
Thank you guys for coming in.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm Eric Power. I'm the one that reached out to Christina. I'm construction supervisor for Canuckson, and this is Tony Vagliardo. He's the project manager for the entire project, and we're here because we have to come through Bristol to get to Alexandria. If you didn't know, that's how it goes. But following power lines, so we're moving into the next phase of our project, and we're going around to all the towns that we'll be going into and just letting them know what we're going to do and answer any questions. There may have been some rumblings late last year about us coming through a different area, about going underground on a road, but that we found an alternate route. So this has nothing to do with that. This is strictly all aerial. We go along Eversource poles on this. We connect to their poles, but our route is, this will be a test because I emailed you the route and I don't have to remember. We're going to come down Maple Grove.
I think that was it.
Thanks. So we're gonna come down, we're gonna start at pole 2007/11 on Maple Grove Lane. Then we'll proceed south to Danforth Brook Road to Route 104 or Summer Street. And we'll follow that right here to School Street, where we'll make a right. And we'll turn left onto Cedar. I said I wasn't sure when I emailed you, but we'll turn left on Cedar. And then we'll turn right onto North Main Street, left onto Union, and then left onto Lake Street, following Lake Street to Pleasant Street, where we'll make a right and follow that to approximately pole 12D over 48, where we rejoin the New Hampshire Electric Co-op poles, which is right around Big Cat Coffee. So just to give you an idea of where that is. And we'll be running our fiber there. And anyone that's along, thank you. Anyone that's along that that route would be able to sign up for our service if they so choose. But
Do you plan on expanding that service?
what do you mean by expand?
So you say anyone along that route, so anybody south on Summer Street from Danforth Brook Road will be able to tap into that. but
Anyone
anybody
that's
north-
along that route within 1,000 feet of that route. So if you're 1,000 feet is approximately 4 poles.
Yeah,
So if we're gonna make that, we would be able to run a drop to your,
yeah.
residence.
So it's
or
not a
place.
service you're looking to provide the whole town.
No,
Yeah, it's strictly to,
it's,
Not at this time,
yeah,
maybe in the future.
yeah.
It's interesting because this is New Hampshire Broadband, right?
Correct.
correct.
You sent out a mailer, and I called somebody, and they said, no, you can't have it because it doesn't come to your house. You can't get it. And she said it's within 1,000 feet of your house, and I said, oh, okay.
If it's within 1,000 feet, you'll be able to have
It
service.
doesn't sound like it's within 1,000 feet of my house.
1,000, no.
Huh?
You won't be within 1,000.
Sounds like it'll be within 15,000. Sounds a bit.
Well, that's where you measure from.
So, I was just saying, you said that in ad.
When do you plan on doing the work?
We're gonna be starting that sometime this quarter, I think.
Yeah, well, it's gonna depend on how quickly Eversource can do the make ready on the poles for us. All the applications for the poles have already been sent into Eversource. They've been so overwhelmed by all the projects that are going on throughout the state, everywhere. Not only by us, but by Fidium and Hub 66, all of them.
Yeah, you
That,
guys are gonna run out of room on those damn poles.
Well, they're,
Rob, that's exactly the problem.
well,
Well,
this is a cost issue because it falls on us to replace the pole when that's the
So,
issue.
one thing, just a point of information for you guys, as you get down to Summer Street, School Street, North Main, Union, and Lake Street, you gotta run into municipal fire alarm wire. That's
Okay.
now a defunct system. So, you can remove it if necessary.
Okay.
So, and we would prefer you remove it.
Well, we did it in Plymouth, so.
We won't have to.
So, yeah, that system is no longer in service.
Going down Teeny Highway in Plymouth, we had to remove
Yep.
in order to make room for us to be able to
So if
attach.
you wanna take that down and take that spot, be
Well,
my guest.
we'll make note of it and we'll pass it on to let Eversource know that there is a spot that if need be that we could
Yeah,
go.
just don't touch any of the boxes.
Nope.
Any of the aerial stuff, all it goes.
So question, so from Lake Street, you're heading over back over towards Hanford's, the Big Cat Coffee?
Yep, that's where the co-op's poles start up again. So that'll be,
So you're going down Lake, you're taking a left onto Lake, you said, or right?
come out of, it was a Union,
Union?
then take a left onto Lake, and then take a right onto Pleasant.
Yeah. For some reason, they're not
Pleasant,
going
you're running
straight. You're not
north as
going
well.
through downtown, that's.
So if,
Because it's all underground.
It's all underground now.
There's no aerial poles. And the cost difference between aerial and underground is astronomical.
yeah, if you do take any wire down, I'm gonna give you my contact information.
No, I've got business cards for all of you, so,
You probably don't have mine.
nope.
But I'll make sure you have mine, so that way we can coordinate getting that line picked up if you take it down,
Okay.
so.
Oh, so you're going up North Main, down Union, back down Summer, and then out Pleasant.
Scott, this is one of the challenges we were talking to the state about, right? Because between New Hampshire Electric Co-op, Hub 66, the work for us, consolidated, the amount of things that are now being overbuilt on the poles, from the state's perspective, they don't want to see that. Like, they don't want to see the overlap. But the only way these guys can get from one of their service areas to the other service area is they gotta cut through,
Yeah.
right? So this is why we've been trying to figure out for the longest of time, how do we help as an intermediary when it's possible, right? Clearly, in this case, it isn't, but this is what's behind it, because we are gonna run out of room, and there is gonna be confusion when a tree limb comes down and something happens, and then it's gonna be who's responsible for it.
Right.
Well, each individual company is responsible for their lines to be put
Well,
back.
exactly,
Yeah.
but what I'm saying is, but when you know, who's ever there first, the tree limbs down, right? Like, it just
Yep.
becomes a order of operation.
No, it's not ours, it's not our fault.
Well, the worst is when they replace a pole,
Yeah.
like they upgrade a pole,
Yeah.
but then the old pole stays for like 4 years before they get back.
Yeah.
If
And
we
nothing gets
replace the
transferred.
pole
Yeah.
and we're responsible for transferring all the cables on the pole and pulling the pole.
Well, that's good, because it's better than, not for you, but.
And that's an issue that we've been running into because it's called one touch, make ready.
Yeah,
Of course, your companies like CCI that are unionized and stuff like that don't want to hear it because that's work out of their pocket.
yeah.
But, I mean, I was a union guy, I understand that side of it, but on the other aspect, there's stuff that's still there that's been there for 4 years or longer.
Yeah.
We all, as a group of utility guys, need to start
Yeah.
being conscious of it and taking care of it.
I can tell you this stuff I went up and did 5 years ago, because it had to be done right away. And the next one down from the municipal fire alarm system still hasn't been done.
Yeah.
It's still sitting there. so.
Yeah.
All right, anything else from you guys? or?
The only question I've got is, as we're coming through town, is there a police detail required or?
Coordinate, you'll have to contact the police department directly.
Okay,
They can give you all the information you need on that. so.
okay, because we do provide flaggers at all times with our guys. But there are townships that no matter where you are, what street you're on, they want you to have a
They're
police
not
deal.
currently doing it on North Main.
No, and it's.
No, but that's.
You might want some extra coming up.
Yeah. But this is gonna be hectic all by school.
They may require, because there is a rule for in Bristol, but except for, there's a specific agreement with them, so.
Okay, well, like I said, that's one of the reasons why we're here, to find out the little details that everyone seems to forget about, and then all of a sudden we get yelled at.
Well, the worst part is like from the Baptist church out to the lumberyard, because there's no alternate route there.
Right.
I can email the police chief and add you to the email, because I have your email.
Yep.
And have him let you know what he needs.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, I mean, I live in Tilton, and we have specific streets that you have to have a police detail.
Yeah.
Sure.
yeah.
So,
Yeah, no, they'll coordinate.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, overall, they'll be tying up traffic, probably not more than 2 or 3 days at a time when they're doing it. Total work, maximum of 2 weeks, they should be through the entire area.
Yeah. Excellent. Well, thank you guys for coming in here.
Well, thank you very
It's
much.
nice to have the heads up and a face-to-face before there's all of a
Well,
sudden a surprise. you guys
we
work
try
it.
to let people know, so all of a sudden there isn't this, we get these phone calls, who's this, where are they, type stuff, so. The contractor that does the work will be Eustace Cable.
Eustace?
Yep.
Christina, can you, instead of me, loop Ben in with that on the, as far as the fire alarm stuff's concerned, and he can coordinate, you know, getting that wire picked up
I
or
can do
whatever.
that.
I'll leave these with you and then you can give them to
Thank you.
whoever needs them. That's my phone that's on there is the phone that's in my pocket 24/7, so if I don't answer it, it's because I don't recognize the number and I won't get back to you.
Same here.
I hate to say it, but I get enough phone calls that I don't recognize it. But I mean, don't hesitate to reach out to me if you got any questions.
Excellent.
I mean, I'll gladly talk to you through anything and everything that I can.
Much appreciated.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you guys, and Happy New Year.
Good night.
You too, thank you. And she does send emails on holidays.
Yeah.
She emailed me last night.
Tell on me.
After 8 o'clock?
No, I'm like praising you.
You're not supposed to tell on me.
No, we already had to talk. Thank you very much, folks.
Yes.
Hi, guys.
Irish are on a roll, 20-3.
Mr. Miller,
All right. Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year.
He said 10 minutes.
I did. I said 10 to 15, actually, so this is my 10. All right.
Notre Dame's up 20-3.
It's all good. We'll see how the over-under works tonight, bro. Listen, there's a couple, there's two. One, I wanted to get your perspective on something, I'll go over it in a second. And then I got two requests for it. The first one is I kind of wanted to get sort of how do you guys, everybody has heard me at a level of nauseam at times around, what I think of the master plan and its role in the town. How do you guys view it? That's sort of like, that's the basis of the question. And then I got one piece I want to read to you. It's like 3 sentences. But I kind of wanted to get your feedback around how you guys think about us using that as a community to try to do stuff.
Are you talking about the importance of it?
Nope, I'm talking about how do you see, in a world I think that we're trying to go to, right? How do you see us using it? And the reason I'm asking the question straight up is leadership to me it's as much about having a strong opinion about something as it is about setting up structure so we can get everybody rowing in the same direction. Okay? So I kind of wanted to just have just a little bit of a dialogue just to see kind of where you guys, where your heads are at. Because obviously I've been pushing everybody to try to figure out how we use it better together. Not to say what's going to be in it, this thing or that thing or whatever, like that to me is step 2. Step 1 is, do we agree that we need to try to do that? And there's a lot behind that question, and what I mean by that is we're making a lot of investments. There's a lot of investments in a bunch of different people's time. The community spending money on updating the plan. So I just kind of wanted to get some perspective from you guys, and then I'll give you my 2 requests. And so I don't know how you guys want to, if anybody's got anything they want to.
Scott, do you?
No, I think it's an important tool that we have guidelines, and then like you said, if that information is out there, and if people want to know what Bristol's about, or where we're going.
Yeah.
But we probably don't utilize it enough.
Well,
Yeah, it's been very
it's never-
underutilized.
Hey, listen, it's never going to be straight up. It's
Yeah.
never going to be perfect, right? Like there's always going to be a million reasons why we can get better. So this question isn't a catch-22. It's not trying to give anybody a jab, but it's more like, all right, how do we continue to push this? When I get to my 2 requests, you'll understand why I got the question. Carol, you gonna?
So theoretically, this should be the guide for the select board to understand the direction that the people in the town want to go. So therefore, it should be the basis of some of the discussions we have.
Yeah.
It has not been used that way, I don't believe, for the most part. I would caveat that with what I have said before, that its content is based on a very small percentage of input from a very small percentage of the citizenry, and therefore potentially biased in certain areas.
Yes.
But it's what we have. Other than that, we have to decide where we're going by conversation here and by talking to people out that we know. So it seems like it pains me to say it, but it should be what we're using. I don't know if any of that made any sense by the time I came back all the way.
No, I agree with you. Anybody else? Leslie?
Well, I also think that we need to, I'm thinking, when you have a vision statement, that you have it out there for everybody to see, what your plan is, how we're all working towards it together. And I don't feel like we've done a good job as yet of showing a master plan. How many times have we been asked to define for EDC, okay, what do you want to be when you grow up? You just need to come up with that answer. Well, if the master plan's going to drive that, then it shouldn't be a topic that we discuss on a regular basis. And where are we at with it? And celebrate our accomplishments as we start to accomplish.
Yeah, I think that's one of the key, the things I look at. So let's say I live in Coventry, Vermont, and I'm looking, I might move to Bristol, New Hampshire, I have a job opportunity, and I go to the town's website, and that's one of the things I'm gonna do is I'm gonna look and, do research in the town. One of the things I might come upon is the master plan. And, not only am I gonna take an interest in what that might be, but I'm gonna see, is that just there as, because it's supposed to be there, or is it this something that's actually guiding the town? It's one of the things that, and I've kind of said this before, that's kind of difficult because you have, it's like the all committees thing, like I was just thinking about that earlier tonight, like we need to get back to that.
Correct.
It's been 6 months or so since we've had the all committees meeting. Like, we're not so much get back, but we need to stay on track with that and keep all these things moving together. Now, one of the things with the master plan for me is I feel like it needs to be constantly updated and not something that just needs to be updated and we'll look at it again in 10 years.
Yep.
I think it needs to be, at a minimum, reviewed on a yearly basis. If not, maybe mildly updated on a yearly basis, but, so that's kind of where I sit with it.
Okay, so here's the opening paragraph on the land use section that I know you guys have all been given. And I'll tell you why, I'll explain to you why I'm reading in a second. So, for Bristol to make the master plan vision a reality, it must adopt a clear strategy for future land use planning and commit to making the necessary policy changes and infrastructure investments. Bristol's master plan vision calls for preserving the small town feel, protecting natural and cultural assets, encouraging a variety of housing types, and continuing to enhance the local economy. On top of this, residents expect future land use change and the corresponding growth in Bristol to support a multi-generational community while reducing the burden on taxpayers. Okay, I actually think that's a pretty good summary, but what's interesting to me when I read that was how do we make sure that we're all rowing together, right? Like, because bottom line is, the planning board is, by the time we publish this, right, we get all the feedback and we publish this, we will have spent $15,000 of taxpayer money over 2 years to get it done, right? And if we don't figure out how we're gonna continue to drive folks to use it, then it's all for naught. We really shouldn't be spending the money that way. You know what I mean? Like that's what started to go through my head. So my request for you guys, my 2 requests are, I'd like to see if you guys would send, I wanted to see, if you would mind, that I ask the department heads to take a look at the land use chapter and give us any feedback they have, right? I don't think we've ever done that in the past. I was talking to Christina about this the other day. And, it's one thing for us to say, yeah, we're just gonna send it to the department heads, hey, give me feedback. But I felt like it was more important to come here first and have this brief discussion because I want to make sure you guys think it's a good use of their time. Because it's going to take them between probably reading through it, because it's, this one's a bit of a technical piece. They got to probably spend about an hour of their day at some point, right, over the next couple of weeks and invest that time. So I wanted to make sure you guys thought that was a good use of their time. And then B, if you wouldn't mind, I'd like a memo to come from the select board to the other boards and committees and the folks that have all been given a copy of this and encourage them to give us whatever their feedback is. If they have no feedback, say I got no feedback. But at least we're starting the process of getting them to go, it's important that you acknowledge that you were given this thing to give your perspective. And again, it's, sometimes this is where leadership gets really messy because every one of us has got a slightly different opinion, and it makes this harder. And I'm probably going to want to punch myself for pushing to have so many different pieces of feedback. But this to me is how we actually get the community to where we want it to be. Because I'm, you know, the thing that probably keeps me up the most at night when I think about all this is really the housing stuff. And I'm hell bent on us starting to really figure that out, because if we don't, we are gonna only be a retirement and vacation community. And you know, that just, I don't know, I feel like we'd lose so much of that if that's all we were. Anyway, there you go. So if you guys wouldn't mind doing that, I would appreciate that.
That's fine.
I don't have an issue with it. Does anybody have an issue with it?
No?
Well, that speaks to Carol's point of getting more buy-in from more people, and it also shows a respect to the department heads that we want their input because we value what they.
And like John said, is, you know, some of them may not have an opinion on it, and it's okay to say.
Yeah,
Well, but because in here, there's a section that we're asserting we're not gonna do anything with sewer.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, and I think, I kinda wanna make sure that Jeff at least sees it, you know what I mean? And, because maybe we're missing the point, or we don't know something, it's, you know, anyways, there you go.
So, let me beat this to death, I apologize up front. That, what you just read, do we have that in our folder? I can't find it. That he just read is not in here.
It was emailed to you separately.
Oh, okay.
You're talking about the,
What he just read. So,
Master plans.
one of my problems with vision statements and all of those kind of things is after about 3 sentences, most people stop reading it because it's
No question about it.
way too verbose. Thank you. So, and in there, you'll notice it says, encourage certain types of housing. What did it say? Our land use people don't have the right to do that. Is that true? They don't have the right to encourage a certain type of housing. We discourage stuff by our rules,
No, we can't.
right?
No, I think,
Like you said,
we encourage. I think we encourage. I think we can.
You encourage
No.
or discourage by your
Zoning.
zoning.
Okay.
By allowing or not allowing.
I understand that. We do not go out and encourage people to build a certain type of a home.
Right.
That's what
I
that
don't
says.
think that's what it's
No,
saying.
I don't think that's what, I mean, take another look at it and, you know, definitely we can pull that apart.
You don't want me to go through this, you really don't.
I would, well.
I'm okay with it. Listen, Carol, we're gonna disagree, and that's okay, like, that's, you know.
In essence, your zoning does do that in certain areas of town. You aren't allowed to put a mobile home in certain areas of town.
That's a negative.
It's
Not a positive.
already, it's already
But
your
you're
zoning.
talking, you encourage.
Yeah, that's a discourage,
Right.
that's not an encourage,
Right.
right?
There's actually no way of encouraging it.
That's,
Is what you're saying.
thank you.
And
That's
I-
my point.
I would agree.
Unless
I don't know
you're
about
encouraging
that.
the expansion of housing.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
we could be encouraging it because if you think about like what we said, in here, there's a section that talks about the vision of having a sidewalk that goes basically from La Valley up and around to Abishon, so that we're encouraging more density. Like our zoning in that area is allowing for multi-units, right, in one house. Okay, so,
Right.
so in that instance, I think we are trying to encourage some greater density, and we are trying to encourage things to happen in the downtown area that are different than, say, the lake and other parts of town. So I would say you can, that, you know, it does come back to zoning though. At the end of the day, it comes back to zoning and it comes back to us saying, hey, this is what we're trying to build.
You can't do this, is what zoning says. For the most part, zoning is a discouragement.
Not that you can't.
And I know I'm playing semantics here, but that's, okay. I spent 16 years with contingency plan writing and review.
Yep.
My last 16 years.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's what this stuff is about, because when you write something, 10 years from now, somebody's gonna read it and say,
Yeah, yeah.
it was okay that I told them, you should have built this kind of a house there, and they did it, and now they're, for some reason, they didn't want to. Well,
Yeah.
land use encouraged me to do that, you can't do that.
Can we just change the word?
Which means I should read the whole thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know, guys, I'm sorry.
you're all good. At the end, listen, at the end of the day, I think we've got to try to, as we're reformulating the plans for the various committees, we've got to, all of us have got to put a bug in all of their ears to go, you're intending to do X, does whatever your X is, whatever, if you had a great year, at the end of fiscal '25, and you're gonna plant the flag of success, what does that look like? Where does it show up in the plan? That only is gonna happen if all of us, from a leadership perspective, are sitting back and going, are we reflecting that? What do you need from us to reflect that? Let's take the time during the winter and make sure we get all those things highlighted that we need to have highlighted. That's all.
And the heads of our departments know the business better than any of us, so that's.
Well, and that was the other thing I was thinking the other night, this is, most towns, I was having this conversation with Bruce Dorner, because he's my direct next door neighbor, right? And we were talking about Littleton. Like when we were looking at master plans, we were looking at Littleton as an example of they did a great job where they used that process. They did some investments from an economic development perspective on their main street. And it was, they laid it out, they knew where the money was, they went through the planning pieces and they've had some success. To me, that's a bit of a model that we can learn from, but I think that, barring all of that, this is all gonna start with us saying, no matter who we're talking to, whether it's me talking to the rest of the planning board, okay, we're trying to, how is that reflected in our sections? That kind of stuff. Anyway, so if you guys would send a memo to the department heads and to the, just the various boards, I would appreciate that. And like I said, then we get what we get, you know what I mean? This isn't we're not, I think it's just we're at a time where it's easy enough to encourage folks to say, hey, we're really trying to figure out how we're working better together.
Do you want a timeline for a response?
We're meeting with the contractor
The 20.
we're meeting in February. Because I asked Joanne to push it out, so we made sure we had time for everybody's feedback. So I really would like something end of January, early February. That way we can incorporate.
Simplify.
Yeah,
I know people get paid to write like this, I understand that.
Yeah, but not only that, but this section, when you look at this section, when you look at the data points and stuff that's in this section, the parts that's challenging about this is one of the sections that's required by statute, right? Vision and land use, those are the only two sections of the master plan that are required. This ends up being pretty technical.
Yeah.
Right, because it's got all that data, and this is how you're supposed to represent your community surveys. Yes, I know only 150 people responded to the community survey. However, we've had a 30% increase over the last 2 or 3, right? So
right.
We're moving in the right direction.
Right.
But the more we point the community to it, the more they will use that.
Good point.
Anyway, all right, there you go.
Thank you, John.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Well done, thank you.
That's right, on Wednesday.
Oh, that's right, you will.
Oh, yeah.
You only got
I forgot you were on
2.5 more months of me, John.
It's all good. It's all good.
2010, Notre Dame. 6:39 left in the third.
All right, have a great night.
Thanks, Joe.
See you later.
I'm using my phone.
Is this hockey?
No. College. He was serious.
He's gonna keep saying,
What, 20 goals?
what's volleyball?
No, it's soccer.
Badminton.
It's soccer.
Is it the sport ball?
It's pickleball.
The high scoring game of soccer.
Oh, boy.
All right. Municipal data certificate equalization ratio.
In your folders is the trial ratio study report. Gist of it is that our ratio did drop again, but we knew it would. Our median ratio, the preliminary, is 51%. We're at 54.6 right now for 2023.
Where in my folder is this?
Number 7.
The 24 ratio study, number 7.
Yeah, I only have, I was looking at the data certificate.
Yeah, the data certificates we
Sorry.
have to sign, but the ratio study, so the preliminary ratio study is there. The median is what we go by for assessment purposes, which is the 51%. We have to submit this to the state. We've looked at it, we didn't see any errors that would draw anything or raise it back up at all or drop it even further, but the state goes through and reviews it, and then sometimes they trim out some sales and it could change. So right now it's at 51%. Yes?
For me and those listening on TV, could you could you explain that a little more simply?
So 51% means that we are under assessed by about 50%. We're supposed to be at market value, which is supposed to be at 100% for our equalization ratio. So obviously, that's an average across the board. That doesn't mean that every district is 50% under assessed. That's an average total under assessment.
So this should improve significantly after next year.
So it will, we are in a reval year this year, but to heads up for people, this will mean that your assessments are going to go up. I don't know how drastically, and it won't be everybody equally 50%, it's across the board, assessments are going to go up.
Right, and for people listening, that
The tax
doesn't mean
rate.
the budget, that doesn't mean the budget changes, it just means there's a more fair
It doesn't mean.
comparison of everyone's
right.
properties.
It doesn't mean anything really with the budget, it's just your assessment will go up and most likely your tax rate will go down.
Right.
Usually when your assessments go up, your tax rate comes down and they offset each other.
Right.
For those people who do construction work though, or make changes, or something gets picked up, for instance, they go out and find that there's something different, a shed on your property, your assessment may go up and your your bill may still be up a little higher because you've made change. But for the most part, it kind of tries to wash.
Yep.
So,
Thank you.
kind of try.
Thank you.
So.
The overall number has to wash.
Yeah.
Right.
The assessment goes up, the rate goes down, and the amount of money collected stays.
You still
You
pay
don't-
for the budget.
Need a motion for us to accept that or anything?
Oh, you need a motion to sign the data certificate,
Okay.
and that's what allows us to submit it to the Department of Revenue. And then they do their final review.
So I would entertain,
Make a motion to approve the 2014 municipal assessment data certificate from the New Hampshire Department of Revenue Administration.
Second.
2024, did I hit
motion by Carol, second by Dawn to approve the 2024 municipal assessment data certificate. Any discussion? All those in favor?
40? Aye.
Opposed? Alright. Send it around. 85 Lake Street.
I'm not done with that.
So we
Sounds
didn't vote.
familiar for some reason.
No.
At the last meeting. I have talked to, the town's attorney about liability, and there are still some liability concerns. I'm not sure if we want to transfer that discussion to non-public towards the end of the meeting, because we haven't officially made any decisions yet, and we'll still have to do that in public. But I talked to him, you had asked me to go back about liability of no licenses. So that may be more of a non-public, because I don't want to get into any kind of things that might fall on someone.
We might as well go into non-public and discuss it, because there's no point in having the discussion without having all the information.
And then I saw
Do
the
we need to
TA
vote on it
report.
today? Do we
What?
need to do non-public, then come back out and vote on it today?
Yeah, well, that's up to you.
Let's get it over with. It's early.
Do you want me to do the TA report and come back to that?
Just one more thing.
I'm done.
I got one more thing.
Hey, I've
You're done with the TA report, okay, let's.
I didn't print my report. Under TA report, the first thing is January anniversaries. Bristol is thankful for the employees who celebrate their January anniversary date and for joining the Bristol team. We're thankful for their continued years of service. That's not what it says, I know. Assessing and land use, Michael Lacasse, he's our permit officer / health officer. He's been here 2 years. Executive department, your town administrator, 17 years. Fire department, Nolan Lamandon, he's a captain and he's been here 4 years. Ryan Dillon, he's a call firefighter and he's been here 21 years. Police Department, Kirsten Marsh, Administrative Assistant, 6 years. Minot Sleeper Library, Fiona Barker, she's a library assistant and this is her first year. Transfer Station, Arthur Bory, he's a transfer station attendant, he's been here 18 years. And then Bill Corliss, Transfer Station attendant, he's been here 1 year. Town report reminders.
One quick thing,
Oh.
just a correction on that. Noel Normandin has been here 4 years full-time, but
okay.
as part-time, he's probably been closer to 13 or 14.
We saw him here before. Did he leave for a period of time? Because
No.
I would rather make sure he has the right tenure.
Noel was a call firefighter since, I'm gonna guess, 2011 or 2012, maybe even, yeah, probably 11 or 12.
Okay, because I'd like to make sure we recognize him
Yeah.
right, so, yeah, I'll check the file. Under town report reminders, CIP report paragraph, Don Milbrand. I've got your narrative and your worksheet, I just
Yep.
need, if you could write something.
Yeah, well, I forgot about that.
Community events, Kelly Park, TTCC, Les. Question, fireworks, do we want to put something, we never had the fireworks committee do anything, do we want to put something in there about, we're gonna try to pursue Friends of the Fourth, interested to
Yes.
put their name in, something like that?
Yeah, it would be good to again review the feedback on bringing the fireworks back up to our higher level too.
Oh, yeah, so, because we are
Yeah.
proposing to change it,
Yeah.
Yep. Hemi Path, do we, EDC, obviously, we're gonna meet with them, I think, in February. So Hemi Path, would we like them to write a little article on their own, and put it under the EDC? What are your thoughts? Or,
I don't think it would hurt to have them do one on their own, just do the one on their own.
and do we wanna add the technology review?
Sure. That's something.
Sure, why not?
Okay.
Gives people insight on what's going on, so.
They wouldn't be able to get any kind of proprietary or non-public, but they can get into. they
Right,
can
that's
say
why
what
I
the-
was, I
yeah.
had concerns that you don't wanna give too much information where a cyber criminal could look for
Yeah,
areas.
I just got a message, someone logged into it, and my Primex account at 6 a.m. this morning, so I just changed my password. I'm like, it's a little late. Okay, so those are all due by Monday. We've got a little bit of leeway, but just giving you some heads up. Deputy Health Officer, I'm submitting my resignation as a Deputy Health Officer. To get that off me, Joanne is going to be appointed as the deputy. Mike is your health officer. It's really just a formality, because if they're both out, then I have to do it anyway. But I need to have a motion to approve the nomination of Joanne as the deputy health officer. And then I've written out a written resignation as well, so.
Do it.
Do we need to do two separate ones?
You gotta, yeah, you can do
Accept
one,
your
just accept
resignation.
mine, yeah.
To make a motion to accept the resignation of the deputy health officer of, who is Christina Goodwin, and to appoint Joanne Bailey as the new deputy health officer.
Second.
Okay, motion by Scott, second by Les, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Congratulations.
I'm working on moving some things around. The Freightliner, just a reminder to anybody who's listening, the town has posted the bids for the Freightliner. They're due by noon tomorrow to the town administrator's office. If they need more information, a bid document and pictures are on the town's website. Community Power is holding two public, I've been getting some calls this week about questions about the Community Power program. So they're holding 2 public information sessions at the library. One of them is January 4th from 10:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. And the second one is February 1st, also from 10:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. They're supposed to be representatives of Bristol's Community Power, as well as representatives from the Community Power Coalition of New Hampshire on hand to be able to answer questions. Vacation coverage, just double checking. I will be out of the office Friday, January 10th through Monday, January 20th, which is a holiday. So I'll be back on the 21st. Town administrator for the week, will be Jeff Chartier. Budget committee meeting that week. I just need to follow up. There was some question about whether, I know Les isn't going to be at that budget committee meeting. I'm not going to be at that budget committee meeting. I've got Shannon set up to run the computer for the meeting, but I need a select board representative, and I have 2 new department heads that will be presenting that night, so I need to make sure someone's here for them.
It would be very difficult for me to be there.
Which day, sorry?
So January 14th,
I'm gonna bring my date book.
I can call
Did we
you
talk about
tomorrow.
this last time? Did I
You
say
said
that?
you thought you could,
Yeah.
but I wanted to, Rob wasn't sure,
Yeah.
according to the minutes, so I just want to confirm. I want to make sure I get the right person, all the materials.
Yeah, I didn't bring my date books, so, but if I said I could do it before, I know that hasn't changed, so,
All right, we will make sure that you get everything.
or, yeah.
Any other concerns for coverage? Jeff can contact me if something comes up. Obviously, he's got my number, but otherwise, I don't think anything. I think these guys are gonna be good. They're on, but if you need any.
You're going away, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so turn your phone off.
Mm-hmm.
If Jeff needs something, tell him to contact me, and I will contact the rest of the board.
Contact Rob.
Sound good?
So,
Yes.
Actually, leave the phone at home.
And I don't expect to hear from you either.
I've already, the problem, I've programmed emails to go out while I'm away, so
Okay.
you may get emails ahead of time. No, I don't think I did any to the board yet, but I've programmed emails for the department heads to make sure.
Please,
Jeff
for your own
has,
sanity,
so.
take a vacation and don't.
Yes.
Yes.
I-
say
What
where you're going?
happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Oh, nice.
So, if emails come out, they're programmed ahead, just so you know.
No, please tell Jeff to contact
Okay.
me rather than you, so you can actually take a vacation.
Okay.
I will be in the area all those days, so unreachable.
All right. I'm back, I leave the Saturday, but I'm back in the state on the following Saturday.
Let's
But-
just plan on you and I touching
Touching
base next
base.
Friday before you leave, that's all.
No, I'm not gonna be here Friday.
Or Thursday, sorry,
Thursday, okay.
whichever your last day is. Just reach out to me and whether it's a phone call or I can stop in, whatever.
We meet the sixth, when do we
We
meet?
meet the 23rd.
Oh,
We moved your meeting to the 23rd, so Monday's
right, I
a
forgot about
holiday, which is the 20th.
Yeah.
So we'll be back on the 21st, and I'll try to get you materials, but it'll be my
Yeah.
first day back.
So we'll be voting on warrant articles that day as well.
And
On the
I will
23rd.
get that meeting.
So-
I think, so am I, I'm gone.
Yeah, well, I think that's
You're
what
gonna
we
We
started
talked about
talking
this,
about.
didn't we?
We do it.
That's right, we did start
Oh, you're
to
gonna
talk
go?
about this. So there's no Les and there's no Carol.
The 20th,
Anybody
I'm
else?
gone the 26th to the 29th.
So I have to have the draft warrant articles to the budget committee on the 28th. And the reason we moved it to the 23rd was because I was away. So
Right.
the 3 of you, Rob, Don, Scott, you will be voting.
Planning on being here.
Okay.
We can swear at Sean.
I will be on the 30th if you want to push it out.
It's only 2 months early.
I can't present to the budget committee though.
Alternate.
I guess I could give them the draft without votes.
Trouble with that is
I could
people
do
are
that.
gonna question, people are gonna question, why is it 3-0?
I should put, we could push the meeting,
The 30th is the next Thursday. No, that's October. What are we doing here?
Yeah.
It scrolled down.
Would it
It is the
matter?
next one, it still is the
The
30th.
It still is the 30th.
Would it matter if we met the 30th rather than
No, we can move it to the 30th,
the?
that would be
Yeah,
better.
I'll be here then.
I think Dawn brings up a good point.
Yeah.
So I can
People
still,
always question that.
Yeah.
for the most part, I can still give the budget committee the draft warrants on the 28th, because that's what they're scheduled to be. They don't need the votes, though. They need the votes for your meeting, for the public hearing. So if I move you to the 30th, they can still have it for their public.
They're not gonna act on it, they're just gonna.
No, they're just, there was a concern raised at last year's budget that they didn't get a notice. So I wanted to make sure that they got notice ahead of the public hearing as early as possible, so.
Let's
Okay,
assume
so-
when the weather cooperates and we can all fly where we're going, you know.
So reschedule your January 23rd to January 30th. Got it. I'll send out new invites.
It's gonna feel like we had a month off.
Is everybody gonna be? Because we did.
See, there actually is 28
Are you
days.
gonna be here on the 30th? Everybody's gonna be here?
God, good Lord willing, the creek don't rise, as I was just
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah.
I don't know.
If there's a big snowstorm and
Get
planes
the
aren't
23rd
flying,
off, so. I know. Senior year.
or do I have to work that night? On the calendar with me,
What, the 30th?
it's a Thursday, I've got some newfound stuff.
But 4 of you are available the 30th, where only 3 of you are available the 23rd.
Or the other question is do we have,
Special meeting somewhere?
do we just have the meeting the 23rd as we normally would? And then maybe and the only other day I could do is that Wednesday, the 31st, or excuse me, the 29th. Would that work for you, for everybody? Or is there anything going on?
I'd rather do the 29th.
No, we get back at midnight to 29th. So no,
And that's not to say you'll be back on the 30th.
it's not, as I'm saying, if the weather's, you
I
know,
say we just keep it as is, and we'll explain to people
can I vote,
remote.
You can call
can
in.
I zoom in and vote?
You can zoom in to vote.
Yeah,
All you gotta do is
You just need 3 people in the room.
yeah, I was gonna say you can call in at least
Well,
just for that,
oh,
just for
yeah.
that section at least and vote.
I gotta
Right.
fix that phone thing though, but you could call in on my cell, I could put the cell phone on
Either way, or
speaker
I
for the vote.
could try to, I don't know anything about where we're gonna be as far as that goes, but I could.
Because I did that a number of years ago, I called from Vermont.
Yeah, it is what it is, we're only human,
I'm
so.
sorry, I couldn't hear you, Don.
I said a number of years ago, I called in just for that specific part of the meeting.
If that's better, if you wanna do that, that's fine.
Leave it the 23rd?
I'll need somebody to remind me.
Is that what we decided, leave it the 23rd?
No, we just did that.
Well, no, so you could be here,
She can't be here the 23rd.
but you can be here the 28th.
Yeah.
30th.
30th. But Carol doesn't know for
I
sure
should be
yet.
here, I should be here the 30th.
Just
Okay.
make it the 30th,
Okay,
if
good.
something important comes up and we gotta have a special meeting the week before for the 3 of us, we'll have a special meeting.
Fine.
Okay, all right,
I must have drifted off for a second.
got it. Public safety building updates, the fire department side of the operated bay heaters are still on track for being replaced. Dead River has given the job to Smith River HVAC. Dead River was booked so far out that they couldn't get it done. So Ben's checking on when, and Gruen will be paying for that, so.
Yeah, so just for the public's information, that's being covered by the contractor.
Yeah. Tax rate bills update, the tax rate has been processed through the Department of Revenue, through assessing, and through the tax collector's office. The billings will be going out by January 8th and are due February 11th. Payroll update for the board's pleasure. It has not been a pleasure for us. The first payroll went very well at first. We are having some issues with the coding with certain banks. Last I checked, I hadn't gotten part of my check, but it went to one bank and not the other. So we let all the department heads know, we're hoping by tomorrow it's all resolved because nothing has bounced back to us. So we believe some of the delay is the holiday and some of it is a new payroll system doing it. So just wanted you to be aware in case you hear anything. We are, when we get in tomorrow morning, we'll be working on it first thing in the morning just to make sure everybody's gotten theirs by then. So, wanted to say welcome to Heather Waterhouse. She started on Monday, December 30th. We're excited. She's HR Wellness Welfare. The timeline for her to take over all of those is all being worked on. We're not probably going to start training for welfare until February. But right now, we're very thankful to have her here. And if we can get her a computer, that would be nice. We're working on that right now, and so she's excited, so.
Awesome.
In your folders, under information only, there's a newsletter from the Department of Energy. There's also a tax collector, the MS 61, which is the tax collector's report for the end of year. That's in the folder, and then there's a collection summary I thought you'd be interested in, late for December 2024. It shows how far back the oldest amount of taxes is that is owed, and by year how the taxes or water liens owed. So it gives you a rough idea to see. I will tell you probably the oldest dates, like 3 or 4 of them, is one property that we're still working on. And hopefully we'll resolve that property this year. And for those on the public, we have posted that we're accepting sealed bids on 70 Merrimack Street. It's posted, there's a bid form online, there's a sample deed, a sample purchase and sales, and there's a picture. We have not set up a date for anybody to visit the property. Unfortunately, I don't think we'll be able to do much visits to that property. If it snows again before, because I don't, it's open until January 31st. I don't have someone that would be able to take them out right now. So, but anybody has any questions, they can get in touch with me. We did put a reserve price on it, which is the taxes that were owed on the property. So.
Where's the document on outstanding taxes?
We go into information only folder. Under TA report, sorry.
Oh, okay.
Collection summary.
Yeah.
Ah. Thank you.
I thought it was interesting to be able to see that's what's left. The number looks big just because it also includes your latest warrant. But it really, my computer's stuck.
The number looks big because of what, did you say?
If you look at the ending balance, at the very bottom, it
Yeah.
says it's 6 million, but that's because your warrant that is just being mailed out was included in that, so.
Select board comments, Scott?
I can't think of any at this time.
Don?
Good. No, nothing.
Les?
No?
One quick thing I'll bring up, there's been a lot of thefts in town, both in the downtown area as well as in the Peaked Hill and Hall Road area. Just kind of remind people to be vigilant, keep an eye out for suspicious activity, and if you do see it, please report it to the police department, specifically to Detective Schaffner. So, lock your doors, which I can't believe I have to say in Bristol, New Hampshire, but lock the cars, because they've been going through vehicles. Public comment?
I'm not asking for anything that you're gonna be talking about in non-public, but what is left to do for 85 Lake Street to get that on the calendar?
They have to make a decision on how they're gonna sell it. That's the final step, and then we just move forward from there.
Okay.
So we should, once they have a discussion about the attorney opinion, tonight, they should be able to make a decision, I hope, to sell it, so.
Yeah.
They've already made the decision to sell it, but we rephrase that.
Right.
Just
right.
how
They
to
just
sell
need
it.
to decide how they're
Yeah.
selling it, so.
Yeah, also, on the theft stuff, some stuff up by the lake as well.
Yeah. I know the PD is working diligently on that, and, you know, they've, but it's kind of frustrating because
It
it's
is,
happening in areas where there's some camera footage, but it's not all that helpful, and, I know that's, I think the biggest diversion
Yeah.
is to have cameras up and visible, but who knows, so.
Yeah. I reached out to Christina, and she had reached out to Chris. I guess that, because the people doing the work are very quiet about what they're doing, but all the utility work up on North Main, I think, because they think you're gonna yell at them, but, you know, they're not forthcoming with what they're doing, but it sounds like that's on 66 running up through there. It's that Chris thinks it is.
Chris did go out,
Oh,
he said
okay.
it is Hub 66, but that's all I know right now.
The way they're parking their personal vehicles is blocking as well as the big trucks, so it's,
Yeah, well, they're driving with the guy in the bucket
Oh, good.
up and down the road,
They
the
did
bucket
that.
up in
That's
the air.
common.
Is
Yeah.
he,
I
so
did that.
is he?
It doesn't bother me too much, but with the roller coasters there, sometimes you come up and you're right on them.
Oh, I agree, the signage should be better.
Yeah.
The signage should be
well,
improved.
yeah, or somebody, because they're parking right where you come up. What's
They don't really have a traffic control person, they just
No.
sit someone in a vehicle and they put a sign up.
this? And so you don't know in certain spots on there whether anybody's coming or not.
Right. Right.
I will email Hub
I just don't
66.
want someone.
I'll
to get
email
hurt
Hub
there.
66 and also Coin, because I have a feeling our Coin's doing.
Especially down our way, because there was contractors parked on the side of the road, and then they
Yeah.
parked there, and it gets pretty.
I know, when they came up, when this group, New Hampshire Broadband came up through Groton, I was like, I've never seen them do that before, drive with someone in the bucket truck. I don't think that's legal, is it? And they do, they drive down the road with them in the bucket.
Yeah, OSHA might not be.
It'd be even better if you could
It's
drive
pretty
in front of
common
the
practice,
bucket.
I've seen it before.
I've seen them do it, yeah.
Yeah, with the fiber groups especially, they drive with them in the bucket,
Yeah,
so.
They just drive slow.
I think that's all I had, question.
When's the sign-up period?
I was gonna ask.
It's the last week of
Last week
January.
in
First or
January.
something, you have to sign.
But when does it open?
Did I bring that down with me?
Why do you look for that on equalization rate?
No.
I've always tried, people ask, I never really have a good answer. Does that get used in the yearly computation assessment times the rate? Or is it just a benchmark to say,
Sorry, I wasn't paying.
On equalization
Yeah.
does it get used in the formula at all? Or is it simply to tell you where you sit as a community on your assessments?
In the
Compared to
tax
the
rate calculation formula,
Yeah,
no, it doesn't really get used there. It tells you where you are in your assessments, if your town is meeting. We're supposed to be officially in a normal time frame.
right, plus or minus
You're supposed to be plus or
10%.
minus 10%.
Right,
Pretty much the whole state is off, but the states that have started, the towns that have started to do their revals are moving closer into the lineup, and that's where we're gonna be. So for people who know, you're supposed to be plus or minus, you can, 10% under, 10% above towns. If you're not, and you stay out of it too long, you could be ordered to do a reval earlier by the
So-
state, but,
Bristol does a good job.
yeah.
I think better than a lot of towns in terms of communicating, but I can tell you from being on the different Facebook groups,
Yep,
you need to get ahead of that as soon as possible. Because you get an assessment letter that says your house is now worth twice as much as it's assessed at last year. Does not mean your tax is doubling.
And people are already kind of insinuating that on Facebook.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Well,
Um,
Bridgewater.
well, because
New Hampshire.
Bridgewater,
So-
I think, just went up.
New Hampton, Andover,
did too,
Andover
yeah.
hit the fan.
Is there,
Facebook.
I'd follow up on that, is there a reason the word equalization is used? What is that? I never really gave it a thought till you said it. Equalized across compared to the rest of the state? or equalized up to close to 100%? I don't know what does it mean?
State equalization
It's,
is a
it's,
different.
so there's the name of the Department of State is the Equalization Bureau.
Okay.
However, I don't
That
know.
sounds fair.
I know it doesn't, it sounds like,
Sounds like a state agency to
what
me.
is it?
Yeah.
What's his, I was just looking. for
Yeah,
the
there's
calendar.
also a state equalization rate,
Doesn't-
and they use that to equalize all towns as far as state and county.
So when we say
Well-
our equalization rate is 51%,
There's multiple.
what does that
numbers.
mean?
It means
exactly?
we're undervalued by 49%.
Mhm.
So we're not, equalized means you would be valued at 100%.
Right.
Correct.
That's the
Yeah.
simple explanation.
That's the simple explanation.
Yeah, our assessed,
But,
our assessed values are half of what,
Yeah,
what the actual.
what they would sell for,
so,
basically.
and there are three different ratios. Assessing purposes, the median ratio is the one that we use. But debt purposes is a different number, and there's weighted mean, there's median, and then there's a third. And then they make it very difficult to understand.
Okay.
There's the coefficient of disbursement and the price
And it
difference.
also doesn't mean fair market value, because if that was the case,
Right,
Yeah.
right, right.
in theory it
I
does,
said
but
that, yeah.
when you sell your house that's assessed for 300,000 and it sells for 400,000, the assessment doesn't go up to 400,000.
Right.
You know, they take a bunch of other things
Right.
into, yeah.
May I say one more thing?
Push.
So just publicly, thank you, Sean, you're on Facebook and you help to clarify things for us often, and I do appreciate it, so thank you.
There's nowhere on the website or the news page that says anything about when signups are for
No,
open positions.
Rima usually puts it up, but I'm gonna go look right now at the calendar, the other
Because
calendars.
it would be good to have that out there for people.
It's gotta be getting close, because it closes at the end of the month.
Anybody we know,
Is the deadline for petition warrant articles the same, or is that different?
No, it's different. It's the, I can tell you, sorry, let me just,
yeah, that should probably be it. It might have been there.
I just was in here today. I don't know why I can't find it now. Important dates calendar. There we go. Traditional March town meeting.
It's a good point, Les.
So where's the first day? On the last day. First day to, it's the Wednesday before usually, so the last day for filing declarations of candidacy with the town clerk is January 31st.
And it's usually like 10 or 12, 10 or 15.
It
Easy.
usually
Yeah, it's like
opens
the
the
Thursday
Wednesday
before or
before,
something.
so it's January 22nd through January 31st. And they'll be open until 5 PM on the 31st. So that's filing for, but I'll make sure something gets posted.
And I think the petition warrant articles, what, like a week after?
They are actually, last day for 25 or more voters to petition the select board to include an article in the warrant is Tuesday, February 4.
Hmm.
You said the 31st it goes to?
Yep, January 22nd through the 31st. And then petition warrant articles is February 4.
Somebody want to make a motion to go into non-public?
So moved.
Motion to go into non-public session pursuant to RSA 91A32, paragraph D, acquisition, sale, or lease of property.
Second.
Motion by Don, second by Scott. All those in favor?
Aye.
Roll call vote, Scott.
Don, aye.
Carol, aye.
Rob, aye. Les,
Aye.
we are in non-public.
Aye.
You good, Kate?
Ready? All right. Somebody make a motion.
I got him.
Make a motion to seal the minutes of the second non-public session.
Got it.
Second.
Okay, motion by Don, second by Carol. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Roll call vote?
No.
No.
We did.
Okay.
Sealing.
Aye.
Okay. That's not the
Yeah,
motion I was looking for, but
But I'll make a motion to sell 85 Lake Street by a process of sealed bids.
Second.
okay, motion by Don, second by Les to sell the property at 85 Lake Street and the adjacent
And
property.
adjacent property, yes.
Via the process of sealed bid. Any discussion?
The only question I would have is if we pass this, do we have to sell it by sealed bid?
No, we put
No.
the,
We're just saying that's what we're gonna move forward
We
with.
have the right to refuse all
we
bids.
put that claim, in the advertisement as well, that we have the right to refuse any and all bids that are received, so.
Just for the public's information, the board has reviewed multiple methods of selling a property, sealed bid, auction, listing it with a realtor, and have decided that this would be financially and as far as legal exposure, the best method for to move forward with. So that said, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. And the other motion I was looking for.
Motion to,
Adjourn?
thank you. Forgot the word. Thank you.
Carol.
It's less, give it a less.
Carol, no.
Carol can second
Make
it.
a motion, Don, second that.
All right, motion by Les, second by Carol to adjourn. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you for saying, Kate.